morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever you're watching this. Hope you're doing good, hope you're doing alright. It is, in fact, a beautiful day outside. Just kidding. But I officially got the mic set up working, I think. After going over the footage last night, I think it's good enough at the point where I'd like to actually do a little bit of a moto vlog and talk about some stuff. So that's what we're gonna do today. Yeah, beautiful day out. Hope the POV's alright. It's looking okay. I can kind of tell in these little mirrors, but it's hard to get a good grasp until I actually watch the video. But I have decided on a topic after long deliberation on what I should talk about in this video, but I'm just kidding. It didn't take me very long to think about, but I kind of want to talk about the reasons why you should get a motorcycle, and kind of talk about why I think getting a motorcycle can be really beneficial to someone who, you know, kind of is in my shoes, but, you know, doesn't necessarily have to be in my shoes, if that makes sense. But I kind of want to just go over 3 reasons. I came up with 3 reasons I think I can talk about, and so I'm going to mention those. So starting with the first is that it is simply just a hobby that I think most people would enjoy picking up. And I don't say that in like trying to generalize that most people would want to that was weird what that light just did. I'm not trying to generalize it and say that most people will like motorcycles, because I think it's actually kind of the opposite. I think a lot of people might not like motorcycles. But, you know, don't shame something until you try it, right? And so it might be something that you'd be really interested in, and the reason I use this as one of my examples is, or one of my reasons why you should get a motorcycle, is that it really just gives you a hobby. And from my experience, and, you know, from my knowledge and whatnot that I've gained, I think it's just, you know, picking up a hobby, any hobby, is really just kind of key to living a happier life, right? And I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life or anything at any means, but I think it's good to pick up hobbies, and motorcycling is almost, in my opinion, just a perfect hobby to pick up. Now, I understand there's risks to it. Obviously there's risks to it, but there's risks in everything you do in life, right? You know, going to school, choosing to go to college, you're taking on a big risk there. Obviously it's not the same type of risk as, you know, motorcycling, but you know, it's something that I think people should consider, right? Because picking up a hobby, it's going to give you time to do, or it's kind of, the way I think of it when I say it's good to pick up a hobby is that it gives me something else to do in my downtime, and therefore it kind of diverts me away from, you know, doing stuff that would be worse. I would be, you know, making worse use of my time, in a sense. So, like, instead of sitting around for 5 hours all day, you know, or sitting inside playing video games on a really sunny day, I get this excitement getting to go out and ride the motorcycle. And so that's kind of the way I think of it. It's a hobby that's going to give you a sense of enjoyment in doing it, and it's going to help you in, you know, conducting your daily life, in my opinion. You just basic, you know, like living throughout your life. It's going to help you kind of, and also time management is a thing you could consider as well. So nonetheless, I think it's good to pick up a hobby, and motorcycling is a good hobby. So the second one, and this would be kind of controversial, but because of my experience so far, I'm going to say this. I think it's a wise financial decision to get a come on. go. Of course, something like that happens while I'm at a stoplight. But continuing on, I think it's a wise financial decision to get a bike as mine dies in the middle of an intersection. But it has been very, very, very cost efficient for me to have this in my specific situation. Moving up to college, this thing gets like 70 miles to the gallon, especially with the rising gas prices and everything right now. I mean, it's just perfect. And you know, I don't ever want to feel like I'm constrained in my travel. Like, I want to be able to go to my friend's house, you know, willingly, and I don't have to worry about, oh, you know, I have to fill up my tank every, you know, week and a half, 2 weeks, or whatever it may be. So that's something that I think is really, really overlooked with motorcycles. Now, the reason I say it's controversial is because a lot of people will say that while motorcycles, you know, they cost less than a car, they're gonna, you know, you're gonna pay less in gas. A lot of people think that eventually you will end up spending more because you enjoy motorcycle riding. You'll get kind of addicted to it, and then you'll want to get more. You'll want to get a bigger bike, a faster bike, which I can personally say I already have been starting to experience. I do want to get a faster bike. I do want to get a bigger bike. But for the sake of this video, I will say that I think if you get like a 300 like me or something, you know, or even just a moped for that matter, it's super cost efficient, and I think it's something that a lot of people should consider when they're, you know, looking at their travel situation, and you know, whether they're moving to college or just moving in general. I think it's a good idea. Why that light's like that? Usually it gives them the walk signal. That's why I was hesitating. And so the third thing that I will say for sure, and this is one I'm certain of, it's really convenient having a motorcycle. And what I mean by that is it is just very nice to have a small vehicle that can get you from point A to point B, because it's so much easier to park. It's so much easier to, you know, even just in my garage, it's so much easier to do everything with it. Now, I don't know necessarily about maintenance. I have taken it in once, but nonetheless, parking is much easier with it. It's just so much more convenient. And also, even though lane splitting isn't legal in Iowa, I do occasionally, you know, cut through traffic more than I should, and I found that to be kind of fun to do. So, and it makes my travel time usually a bit quicker. I have noticed my travel time is usually quicker than with a car. I hope you enjoyed my little talk. I hope you found it useful. I hope I'm not, hope I don't feel like I'm pressuring you into, or hope it doesn't feel like I'm pressuring you into buying a motorcycle, but I did want to give my opinion on the matter, and so I have. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was helpful, and have a great day.